Southeast Asia in particular and Asia Pacific in large is a very important market for the global air cargo. There are many things happening in this area, in this geography, particularly because of the trade dynamics, the geopolitical tensions, the tariff wars. There are many things happening, and also the flow of cargo is getting affected. At the same time, there is reports about the increasing demand of cargo from Southeast Asia, and also increasingly shifting supply chains from particularly from North Asia, for instance. Since it is one of the most important market, there are many airlines out there who's trying to grab the market, a piece of this market. Almost all big airlines in the world, they are trying to be in this market. One of the biggest US airlines, United Airlines, they are in this market. Historically, they had a focus here. And now, since many things happening in this market, we are sitting down to understand what is United Airlines doing in the Asia Pacific and Southeast Asia. They have 70 flights daily out of Asia Pacific connecting to US. They have 700 tons approximately of capacity, weekly capacity from the Asia Pacific that is connecting to the United States. Hi all, thank you so much for joining. This is Libin Chacko Kurian from the Stat Publishing Group. We are here in Singapore for the Transport, Logistics and Air Cargo Southeast Asia. Joining me right now is the Director for the Cargo Sales at United Airlines for Asia Pacific. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Hazel, give us an idea about what is happening in this particular market. You are responsible for the commercial of the Asia Pacific region from Japan to Australia. Give us an idea about what is happening in this market.
Yeah. So for me, I've been 18 years with United. So I think since 2018, when there's the first tariff impact impacting China and US, so we're already aware that there will be a shift of the markets over to the Southeast Asia link, Vietnam, Bangkok, etc. So for United, we have long positioned ourselves in these markets, even though we are not online over there. So, but we work closely with our interline partners in helping to bring the cargo from Southeast Asia markets to our network, which includes also Japan, where we have 10 wide-body flights into US, all hubs, including San Francisco, LA, Chicago, Washington, Newark, and Houston. Houston is also our gateway to South America. So this pattern we have been working on it for more than 10 years, just to prepare ourselves to be in those markets. Even though, yes, United might not fly there directly from Southeast Asia to US, but we position well over there. So reason, of course, we have new schedule changes that giving us additional presence in Bangkok and Saigon. We just restart our daily flights from Bangkok to Hong Kong, Saigon to Hong Kong, and then going to US. Okay, that's what we have been doing for more than 10 years.
Okay, give us an idea about what is the kind of increase in demand that you are seeing in the Southeast Asian region, particularly because we are here in Singapore. So what is the kind of increase in demand that you're seeing here, from here? What are you listening from your customers?
Okay, so of course, depends of the origin. So we see a lot of the electronics items from Bangkok, also more from Hanoi. So Saigon is more on the apparel kind of markets, but that gives us a lot of opportunity for consolidation. So of course, here in Singapore, used to be a Southeast Asia hub for most of the airline. Here in Singapore, we do have 2 daily flights, but we do have some limitation on the payload. However, given I said that, we also utilize a lot of the interline opportunity. So Southeast Asia, potentially, mostly as I said, we move over to Japan. Some will move over to Singapore, and some even going to Oceania, connecting our opportunity like Melbourne, Sydney, or Brisbane. It depends on what open space we have during the year.
Even though you use the belly deck capacity of the passenger airlines mostly, you also involve some of the freighters to support this market.
Yes.
Give us an idea about what is the strategy.
Okay. So just as I say, we started Bangkok, Hong Kong, and Saigon, Hong Kong. Opportunity, of course, is to connect Hong Kong, where we have 4 daily flights, 2 to San Francisco, 2 to LA. But these capacity basically will use majorly by Hong Kong. However, our target is to provide trans-Pacific opportunity, right, for Bangkok and Saigon. So what we do at the same time this week is to start a daily Hong Kong to Guam freighter. So we don't fly freighter, but we buy the capacity. We charter freighter 757 to bring cargo 30 tons a day into Guam. In Guam, where we also have wide body into Honolulu, and same network with Japan, we have more than 10 wide bodies over there. So every week, we are bringing close to 200 tons of capacity just for the origin of Bangkok and Saigon.
Are you planning to include more freighters, more freighter capacity into the market?
I think absolutely, but since we charter, that provides us flexibility to position it when the times we want them. So potentially, if there's a project shipment that coming from Bangkok, that we can also position anytime, increase the capacity during peak season, things like that, to meet the demand of that market.
Can you give us an idea about the commodities that you handle from the region? For example, if you are using the passenger belly deck capacity, you can't carry any dangerous goods as such, right? For example.
Not exactly. I mean, whatever that we can carry based on the IR2 rule, we can carry the DG just for the belly carrier. So, of course, we carry a lot of lithium battery, but those are not considered restricted DG. So as long as the documentation work, that's fine. Of course, as I mentioned, Vietnam, Saigon, mainly, or Ho Chi Minh City, mainly is the apparel. So different markets basically have different type of commodity. We also can do perishable when fly online. So apart from that, we also have other product focus, like we have temperature control, cold chain. Once we start online, we can support all this. So these are the kind of new products we are also exploring when we have the online service in those markets.
Okay, give us an idea about how the tariffs, the trade wars happening out there has affected the region, the business that you do, because you are responsible for the commercial part of it. Give us an idea about how it is changing in this region.
Of course, that creates a lot of uncertainty. So whenever you see that the Trump administration saying that, hey, there's a new negotiation, you see some surge in certain markets. Like I think last week in China, there's apparently a spike happened. But what we see there is just a shift. So the peak can happen across the APAC. So it's also our strategy how we can maneuver one in utilizing our relationship also with the interline partners to whenever there's a spike on the market, we'll try to get extra capacity to bring into our network. So that is what we can do to manage the situation right now.
Since you are responsible for the commercial part, how's the yields from Asia Pacific markets, particularly Southeast Asia?
The yield?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Not sure if I can tell you, but relatively speaking, is higher. It's higher than what we see in the China and also Hong Kong market. I'm not sure if it's right to put a number on it. Okay. But I think when it is the market is strong, apparently we see the yield can be about $5.
Hong Kong is a kind of hub for you. You're from Hong Kong and you're based out of Hong Kong. Give us an idea about what is happening over there. So even though you're responsible for the whole Asia Pacific, mainland China is not there in your list. But what is happening in Hong Kong and particularly the North Asia countries like Japan and Korea?
Okay, let me talk about Hong Kong first. So for United, we are passenger carrier. So far, even a few years ago, there is a major focus towards the e-commerce. But again, Hong Kong is not putting a lot of focus to support e-commerce. First of all, our capacity is limited. So we do have a big choice of customer. Our preference is still working with the forwarders, with general cargo. So this is our key focus. But that helps us in sustaining in a struggling market. Even though there's a de minimis go away, our Hong Kong revenue isn't impact that much because of that reason. So we're still keeping our major customer with us. So closer in Japan is also getting more stable. Of course, the currency situation do impact a bit of the market, but in Japan, we also have a synergy or the tactic that we bring transit cargo in to help stabilize the market. So we are not suffering too much of the yield decline, even though, yes, the situation go up and down.
Hazel, you must be doing a lot of research in terms of what to expect in the future. What I saw is like there are many trade deals made by Trump with many of the countries that you deal with, Japan, for example, or the Southeast Asian countries. Do you expect some of these trade deals to increase the demand for cargo, particularly to the United States?
I can say that still US is a very important consumer market. Even there's tariff impact, so there will be a bit of the up and down. Depends on how the tariff is putting in different area. Of course, if the tariff is lower, that helps to boost the cargo. But there's ever changing. Nobody knows. I mean, even one day is lower, you don't know what happened tomorrow. So I think what we can do is just stay very close to the market, stay close to the customer, and we are building something in the longer term, not short term.
Do you have any targets or any new plans for next few years in Southeast Asia and Asia Pacific? For example, Indonesia. I don't know. You're not flying to Indonesia right now,
Not
right?
yet.
Yeah, but I
Malaysia.
saw some of your GSAs out there representing the airline
Yeah.
for Indonesia. Give us an idea about your plan.
Yeah, of course. For the same strategy we will apply that we work with the other airline on the interline part, so to get access to the key markets, our network. So it depends on the geographic. For Indonesia, for example, we have a lot of tonnage also pushing through Oceania. So because from a flying time standpoint, that actually closer to Japan. So we will continue exploring different options to keep our presence over in that market. And hopefully one day, if we fly there, that we are ready to just jump on board and then, provide online service to a customer to US.
Any plans to include more capacity into the market? Also, one more thing, because you are using a lot of freighters now, even though it is not in your fleet, can we expect United to own some of the freighters in the future?
Okay, I'm afraid that United may not fly our own freighter, but just what I say, we start our 757 program. This is not stick to certain days. We have the flexibility also to move it to other markets, as long as depends on the range of the aircraft can fly. If anything within 4 to 5 hours, we can make it happen. So, say for example, in Indonesia, if we have a project that we have to do it, we can also reposition those charter in those markets for some of the short-term needs or even long-term needs.
You're also in a market where you can expect a lot of disruptions, and you have a team to handle. You have cargoes to move. How you handle some of them? Because you're responsible for the Asia Pacific market, and that starts from Japan to Australia.
Recently, everybody talk about resilience, the backup plan. I think with a lot of disruption, even weather or the other geopolitical kind of thing, having the tactics that make us agile and change plan is very important. The charter plan that we are doing right now provide us the flexibility that we can relocate it because it's a freighter charter capacity. Of course, if you're talking about the passenger schedule flight, it's not easy to make change, right? So that is what it is. But on the additional capacity to support cargo, by utilizing this freighter capacity, we can kind of easy to maneuver things around. Okay, and also utilizing the different gateways. For example, if there's issues in Japan, we can also bring it to Singapore, bring it to Hong Kong, bring it to other places. So in order to reduce those disruptions to us.
One last question. Do you have any targets that set by a company to achieve in next few months or yes?
Our targets are every month. So we will grow definitely. So we don't set a point that, okay, it's fine, we stop. No, we'll continue to look for ways to try to expand United Cargo presence. So to answer your question, that would be kind of unlimited growth that we are looking for.
Hazel, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And all the best with your targets.
Thank you.